Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Meow, and today I'll show you how to use inventory in Arma 3. First things first, let's go and open the inventory by pressing the I button. Straight away you'll see that there are three parts to the inventory. On the left hand side we'll have anything located on the ground like crates, bodies, cars, etc. In the center we have things that you're wearing on your body. At the top you can see that I'm wearing fatigues, carrying a carry vest and have a backpack. On the bottom, we have accessories such as maps, radios, etc. On the right top, we have things that you would wear on your head or use with your head, like binoculars, for example. And just below that, you'd have your weapons, such as your rocket launchers, assault rifles, pistols, etc. What really helped me to understand Arma 3 inventory is to think of it as your web browser that has tabs. For example, on the left-hand side, we have crate, and it says ground right next to it. Clicking on the ground brings us to that tab. Clicking back on the crate brings us back to that tab. Similarly, in the center, but in the center, instead of grounded crate, you actually have your combat fatigues, your carrier rig, let's click on that, and immediately you see what is contained in the carrier rig. Similarly, in the assault pack, by clicking on that, it brings you to the assault pack tab or to the assault pack inventory slot. So how do you transfer an item from a crate onto yourself? It's quite simple. There are two ways. First, you can either right click, and as you can see, the binoculars are now equipped. If you right click them again, they're back there. Or you can drag and drop them. Now, drag and dropping allows you to either equip them there or put them into your carrier rig. Now, you might have noticed that once I started dragging, the color of a lot of the inventory turned red. That means that you cannot drop it there. But in the case of your assault pack and your combat fatigue, it means that they do not have sufficient carrying capacity. That's why they're red. You would also notice that they have bars underneath. The white bar designates how much space is already taken up. For example, in your assault pack, you can see that it is totally full. You cannot put anything else. Fatigues have a little bit of space left, but clearly not enough to fit binoculars, while the carrier rig has enough space, and you can see the orange bar there at the end shows how much capacity would be taken up by the binoculars. So if we drop them there, all of a sudden it has increased to accommodate that. If you're finding this video useful, I would appreciate it if you could boop that like button. I use this to gauge how helpful the video is, and it would really help to spread it to more people that might need it. Now, you might notice that your weapon has two items highlighted on it. What does that mean? Well, it means that it has different optics from the standard ones, from the iron sights, and it has something, in this case, the IR laser pointer, but it could be anything that you can put on the rail of the weapon. You can equip and unequip accessories in the same way as any other manipulation in the inventory. Now, one thing to be cautious about is that while almost any optic will fit any gun, so if I want to equip this DMS sight, I can change it, and now it's a different optic. But for the suppressors, you need to make sure that the suppressor is the same caliber as the gun you're equipping it to. So at the moment I have MX 6.5mm gun. It has to be 6.5mm suppressor. Bam. And now I have a suppressor. Please note that for the accessories to be used, they must be attached to a weapon or equipped in the equipment slot, rather than just be carried in your backpack or your rig. So in order for you to use the bipod, you have to equip the bipod onto the weapon. Likewise, let's say we want to use the map. If I press M now, I can see the map no problem at all. However, if I put the map into my backpack or carrier rig and press M, it will just say that cannot connect to the positioning system. Finally, I'd like to talk about the encumbrance. The bags, the backpacks, and the carrier rigs, they have various carry capacity and weight. The bigger the carry rig or the backpack are, the more you can put inside of them. That is all well and good. You can carry more things. However, that affects your stamina. If you carry too much, you would not be able to sprint. You would not be able to aim properly, as you would be out of breath all the time. And it can cause a lot of issues, of course. So to look up your stamina, it is on the upper right-hand side. This white bar designates how much stamina you have left. So if I start loading up on, let's say, the grenades, you will see that the bar is going down. Likewise, if I decide to drop stuff on the ground or into the crate, let's do it onto the ground. Let's drop our carrier rig. All of a sudden, I have much more stamina available. Likewise, taking off the rocket launcher would give you more stamina, and as you can see, you have loads of stamina now. You will notice that when the item is on the ground, things like bags, carrier rigs, clothes, you can see the bar there designating that they're full, but you cannot see what's in them. In order to check what's in them, you just double click on the item and you can see the items there. You can transfer them individually. For example, if I want to equip some suppressor, I can do that from there. Alternatively, you can just drag and drop or right click on a backpack or rig, and that would equip it with all the items contained therein. And this is how you use inventory in Arma 3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna stick another Arma 3 video here that you might find interesting. And remember, kids, do Arma, not war.